This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore! Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Welcome, everybody, to the Mailbag. It is Friday, January 24th, a little bit later in the evening. I was going to do it earlier today, but I had too much big boy work to do in my actual job, so I apologize, but we're here for the Mailbag. We'll get through the emails, a couple of voicemails, and on the back end, the Saturday night main event predictions for tomorrow night. So you're going to want to stick around for that, and if you're new here and you're hearing the ads and you're like, oh my God, well, get rid of them at patreon.com/WWE podcast for $1. You can get in the door, or you start a 7-day free trial as well. We do have some free content for those who want to check us out. And you can also join us on the Discord side of things if you want to talk with all the other patrons of the show and chat during the live events. Patreon.com/WWE podcast allows you to do that. It's one of the benefits. So does Apple Podcasts also offers ad-free, as does Spotify. So I think my voice is back. I'm going to talk a little bit lower than normal. My kids are sleeping. So, but my voice mostly is back. It's about 90%. So that's good news. As a reminder, I'm going to be on vacation for 4 nights in Mexico. That'll be a podcast in and of itself. But I'm going to be there for 4 nights, February 5th. Do the math. That means I'll be posting as much as I can, and we'll see how long I'm able to be timely on that. I'm going to do the best I can. I don't know if I'll be able to record any shows while I'm there. It's unlikely. But if I can, great. I'll try to sneak a show in if something crazy happens. It is post-Rumble, so there'll be certainly a lot of news for Friday Night SmackDown. I'll be doing the Raw review. That'll be my final show before I go. Next week, not this coming week. So, alrighty. Well, with all that out of the way, let's get to the emails. And another benefit of this, the Patreon, joining that side of things is you get priority support and priority placement in the mailbag. So let's start with Darren. And Darren says, I had a great time, and this is again from in-person notes on this past SmackDown, the 17th. And he says, I had some notes, and the main demographic that I noticed was a lot of families with kids. The most merch being worn was Bloodline by far. The loudest pops were for Cody, Ray, Tiffany Stratton, LA Knight, and Jimmy Uso. The loudest boos were for Kevin Owens, Solo Sikoa, and Nia Jax. For the record, I stopped booing when Solo got in the ring. It's cool to hear. That about lines up with how it came across on television. Still surprised that the support for Cody hasn't really declined that much. Kind of amazing that everyone is still under the spell of this goody two-shoes smiling buffoon of a character. Not of the man, Cody, of the character that everyone's just somehow mesmerized by his by this kind of, I got to say, not very three-dimensional character. He doesn't have for all the things I say about Cody, I have not really attacked the depth of his character that much, but I have to say, there's not much to him. He's always smiling, takes a lot to anger him, always wearing suits, all that. But I don't know. He doesn't have a lot of depth to his character, it seems like. He's just kind of this guy that, we all know he's Dusty's son. Thank God that has stopped. I mean, that was essentially day one, the narrative, and it only stopped after he finally won the title at WrestleMania 40. But I don't feel like he's got a lot of depth. Outside of, okay, what's your background? Oh, fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, we know who your dad is. But what else? There was more to you than who your dad is. So maybe that would help for me, but I'm the lonely fan screaming into the void. So let's continue. So before it went on the air, Chris Sabin beat Grayson Waller in a speed match, WWE Speed. After it went off the air, Cody comes out, hyped up the crowd, and ended up bringing, oh God, I can't even say this. He ended up bringing a kid from the crowd into the ring and gave him his jacket that he was wearing. Oh my God. I see, this is the stuff. And I know that this is certainly the minority. Most of you think this is very heartwarming, and it's very nice for him to do for this kid. And that is true. But what can also be true at the same time is that it's very self-serving, because you're doing it while the cameras are on, knowing that this is going to get you further over with the crowd because it pulls at people's heartstrings. However, I see through it. While the intentions may partially be for genuine connection with this kid, and that he wants to make some kid's life by doing this and a memory he'll never forget. Let's be honest. You're there to also make sure that the cameras capture this, because the cameras still roll. Okay, the cameras still roll even after off the air. The cameras still do roll, and this is going to be included in some kind of, documentary down the line. You know that it's true, but I don't know. Maybe I just want an edgy baby face that doesn't care about the company, or at least doesn't outwardly care about the company, doesn't care about carrying the company on his back, just as kind of an outlaw. I mean, let's be honest, Stone Cold Steve Austin was just like the perfect champion. Didn't care about the company, the success of the company. Didn't talk about making history. He made his work speak for itself. He didn't, just draw the banner of WWE and make sure we were living moments and, giving kids, hugs and kisses. I'm not saying for somebody to literally copy and paste Stone Cold, but there's some character traits that I think could be adaptable now. And somehow the fans have taken to this just big teddy bear corporate rah-rah suit, and people seem to gravitate to it. I guess I know why, but it's just not my kind of champion. So I've spent the first 7 minutes talking about Cody. You guys are bored to tears. So let's continue. I won't go into all the matches since you and Amanda both talked about it, but just a couple things. It's crazy how good Rey Mysterio still is at his age. And a cool moment was after Tiffany hit the Alabama Slam and walked towards the corner to do her moonsault. Everybody stood up at once, just knowing it was coming. I got to a lot of baseball games and felt like the moment someone hits a home run and everyone stands up to watch how far the ball goes. Well, thank you, Darren. In-person notes are always fun. It's things that from being in person, the perspective is different. Anybody that's been to an event knows this. So it's always cool to hear and see it through your eyes, a little bit anyway. So thank you, Darren, for that. All right, DJ, what you got for me? She says, it's that special time again. Oh boy, it's another Saturday night main event, this time from San Antonio, Texas. I don't know if anyone is interested in this quasi-PLE WWE semi-monthly event, because literally next week Saturday is the Rumble, so there really shouldn't be any title changes for this Saturday night. However, the only match I'm looking forward to watching is the Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu, Haas versus Haas match, the meaty wrestling special. Yeah, that's right. And can someone please explain to me why Cody and KO are having some sort of contract signing at this event and not on the go-home episode of SmackDown before the Rumble next week? I don't know, DJ. I mean, they have Shawn Michaels there, don't they? Like, HBK is involved in this for some weird reason. I mean, maybe there's a super kick that someone's going to get. I don't know. But, we see super kicks 18 times every show. But I don't know. And maybe they're just also bringing HBK in for star power. I mean, that could also be it. And HBK hasn't been on the main roster television in quite a while. So, I don't know. I would agree. Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu, that's intriguing to me. Definitely. It's new. And God, Lord knows fans love new, even if sometimes new is not always inherently good. So we'll see about that. I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but it is intriguing, and I'll get to my predictions and yours in just a minute on that. Again, I don't know why. This Saturday night main event thing, I'm not sure what the goal is here. I mean, more money. ultimately. The core of everything is more money, which is fine. But I just, outside of money, like what are we doing? I don't know what the purpose of this is. Are we trying to pretend we have one old school show with Jesse the Body Ventura on commentary and the refs in old school gear, and which is fine, but it's like we're playing dress up once a month or something. I don't know what this is supposed to be. What is it supposed to substitute? I don't know. We all know it's kind of a glorified in between PLE and regular Monday Night Raw show. It's like a super show. I still wouldn't put it at the level of a PLE. I wouldn't. But if it's a wrestling focused show and less entertainment-y stuff, then sure, fine. I guess, and I don't mean this patronizingly or in kind of a facetious way or, even in a derogatory way. But what is the purpose? If I could ask WWE, what's the goal here? Why are we doing Saturday Night Main Event again? I really would love to know the answer, because I'm trying to figure it out outside of more money. And, well, it's a different, it's to serve a different portion of the audience. I mean, I don't know. It's not like people were dying for, and having an uproar for a Saturday Night Main Event to make a return. There wasn't this trend on Twitter. No one was talking about it. It was literally kind of just, okay, I guess it's dead forever. Yeah, no one really cared. I don't know. Do you guys have an idea? What could WWE be? What could be the purpose of this? A stopgap between PLEs? But as you said, DJ, there's a PLE on next Saturday, like a massive one that most people view as the most fun of the year. I don't know. This is weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm also not smart enough to put too much thought into it and figure it out. All right. So here's your Saturday night main event predictions, or as the kids call it, SNME. Only 4 matches with no last-minute 5th match as of yet. So Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu, you're predicting without a doubt Jacob will get the win. We've all witnessed the insane athleticism of him on many occasions since his debut, and his first ever matchup against Braun Strowman on primetime TV is another opportunity for him to showcase his in-ring abilities. He has all the makings of a single star and future world champion once he ventures away from the Rogue bloodline. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's his first ever PLE or quasi-PLE singles match. Without spoiling my predictions later, I just have to say, okay. I like your assessment. Number 2, Ripley and Nia Jax for the women's world title. All you say is Rhea retains. Yeah, that's funny. Braun retains versus Sheamus, the Intercontinental title. And in the main event, Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sorry, Jay, but Gunther retains, and then Goldberg appears. Just kidding. DJ Kuzma signing off. Have a great weekend. Can't wait for the Rumble. Let's go, Joe Hendry. He's got to, right? As you know, in your report here, we're going to have some Joe Hendry news, but kind of burying the lead. He's the TNA World Champion. And with TNA and WWE having a working relationship, it would certainly lean towards a Joe Hendry appearance at the Rumble, which I've been pointing to for months, and you have as well, DJ. So we'll get to that in time here. All right. So let's see. Let's talk to Kieran, Kay, and. They say, maybe I hope not too late. Hope your voice is healing. Well, it is. Thank you. It is. As you can tell, it's almost fully back. SmackDown, some good things. All right. Tiffany won't go on further. Chelsea with CIA Piper is spectacular. Agreed. Need a break from Solo. Thank you. That's a good point, Kay. Perhaps Solo taking some time away would be best for him. He's taken a lot of losses, and not small ones, not, immaterial ones that have heavy consequence, ones on big platforms. Survivor Series, getting taken down at SummerSlam when Roman first came back this past year. I think there was some in between as well. Cody, I think, beat him in between there. We had Kevin Owens, get some good shots in on him. We've had, of course, the biggest one, perhaps, when he lost to Ulafala on the biggest Raw, some would say, of all time, although that's very subjective, but the Raw debut on Netflix, he loses there. Solo needs a recharge, and sometimes the way you recharge a character is just by taking him away from our eyes. It's amazing how quickly someone can be repaired and recharged by just removing him. And they set that up this past week. Perhaps the Rogue Bloodline goes on, and Jacob Fatu is the interim leader. And you have Tama Tonga and Tongaloa there, and just doing the bidding of whatever Jacob's doing in the meantime and telling them to do. So I'm fine with that. But it also is Rumble season. So I don't know what the plan is, honestly. When you think about what's up for Solo in the coming months leading to WrestleMania, like, what is it? What is it here? I don't know. Is it Randy Orton? Well, I don't think so. I would put Randy and Cody together still. I really would. Randy and Cody is just a main event ready to happen. Yeah. But Randy's going to attack Kevin because of what happened prior to when he left with this package pile driver. So certainly you're going to have a Randy attack Kevin first, but perhaps Solo and Randy, if Randy doesn't go with and be paired up with Cody for Mania. That seems to be plausible. But Solo's, his career's not in jeopardy, but his career's at a crossroads. It's kind of a lost soul right now. It doesn't have a lot of direction. He's been emasculated. He's been soundly defeated. So what do we do here? I'm very curious to see how WWE tries to repair him. But, all right. So let's see here. KO might be the next Roddy Piper in the Department of Heat. Yeah, maybe. Kevin Owens is just awesome. Kevin Owens is just great. It's hard for me to truly hate him. All right, Raw. Good and getting better than the infomercial they started with. Love the start with Nia and Rhea. I agree. Yeah, Nia and Rhea, that pairing has always been fun. I mean, it's not their first rodeo together. They've had several programs, but this one, as they both mature, and especially Nia in this stage of her career being in the best position she's ever been in, it's more fun. She feels like a bigger star this time around. She feels like a bigger threat this time around. Now, there are rumors for WrestleMania. Some were pointing to Nia and Rhea. I mean, just no way. But because they're doing it now. Some are pointing to, finally, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. A match that they teased 2 years ago. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, when they were both women's champions. One was the women's champion. I think they're still Raw and SmackDown champions. That is a pairing that is an ace in the hole anytime you want to go there. Please. So I can't. In realistic terms, right? In reality, not bringing people back or resurrecting people from the dead. Rhea versus Bianca Belair for WrestleMania 41 is, to me, the biggest women's match you can put together. Hands down. There's nothing bigger to me. Forget Jade. She still hasn't proved herself. And honestly, is anyone even talking about Jade anymore? She has been forgotten so quickly. No one seems to care. There's a whodunit, and they're like, oh yeah, who cares? It's probably Naomi or Bianca, right? No one seems to care. Because the Jade character is insanely one-dimensional. I mean, she just doesn't have substance other than look at my physique. Aren't I just so impressive? Look at me on Instagram. That is what you should be talking about. How good I smell. Look at my Instagram. Have you seen my Instagram? Did you see the picture I posted, guys? But did you? That's what she comes off like. A lot of sizzle and no steak, as Jim Ross would say. That's what she's shown us thus far. Flashes of hope, flashes of promise, but her matches with Bianca were very formulaic. She would get the hot tag, come in for 30 seconds, hit her finish, and call it a night. She had a fun debut at the Rumble, but then it kind of just stalled there for a year. They hit her in a tag team to get her, hopefully, under the learning tree, and that lasted seemingly forever. They wouldn't let go of it even after they lost the tag titles together, and now there's a whodunit, and no one seems to care. Because Jade is not a character that is very relatable. There's not a lot to Jade. It's just, look at my physique. That's it. That's it. Yeah, she's got power in the ring, but eventually you're going to have to show us you've got more than biceps. Okay? And skimpy outfits. Like, there's I mean, I hope they didn't hire her based on that. She's got $2 million look, no doubt. Not sitting here saying she's not, got an incredible look, but that has, I think, worn out its welcome. And fans clearly don't seem to be too emotionally invested in, when's Jade? Where's Jade? Where's Jade? Oh my God, when she comes back, isn't it going to be crazy? No one's talking about it. Nobody. So, not saying she's a lost cause. I'm just saying up until this point, she has not connected with the fans probably in the way that WWE hoped that she would. When she came out, she got a massive reaction, but ever since then, it's been kind of like, oh, yay, Jade, like, yeah, we applaud you, but no real gut level connection with the fans yet. All right. Gunther is spectacular. Such a talent. Rollins versus Drew. Wow. And Seth will turn ASAP. I hope so. Saturday night, as you know, nothing major will happen. Glad we agree that Cody is annoying. Stay away, Bill Goldberg. Stop screwing about and get Alexa back. Liv and Lyra will be good, and Jacob is so good. Him and Breaker is top shelf. And finally, the Queen as the mentor and Tiffy is as the student would be a perfect turn down the road. Love all you do, my brother. Well, thank you, Kay. So a couple things here. Yes, I don't want Bill Goldberg anywhere near a wrestling ring again, unless, I don't care if he's back for a spear, a cameo appearance, a spear, and people get happy. But I don't need him in a ring. I don't need him in a match. If you've seen one Goldberg match, you've seen them all. I mean, we all know what Bill is and what Bill isn't. And what Bill is a lot less than what he isn't. All right? He is a two-trick pony that has a great look, great energy, right place, right time. He'll be the first to tell you he's not exactly, the man of 1,000 holes, right? He's not holds. He's certainly not. He's not a mat technician, no question. But I don't need to see it. I don't need to see anything with Goldberg other than, sure, you want a spear and a good nostalgic moment, fine. But as far as Saturday, everybody, including myself, have seemingly fallen into this trap that nothing major will happen. But is it a trap? Because wouldn't I, if I was WWE, and I want a little bit of press and a little bit of, the fans buzzing on Twitter or on social media, I would do something not catastrophic, but something significant at one of these Saturday night main events. Because now, even though there's only been one, here comes another. And we've, especially with a massive PLE coming at the heels of it next week, we're all thinking, no way they're going to do anything. Wouldn't that be the time to strike? Sounds like a Triple H move. So while we're all being duped into and lulled into the idea that there is not going to be anything big happening, that may be the time to strike. Keep fans on their toes. Just saying. Not saying it's going to happen. But it would be certainly a surprise if they did. Okay. So I don't know if anybody even messaged me on Patreon. Gotta say, maybe it's pretty embarrassing. Let's take a look. Do I have one? It could be. Nope. I don't. So that'll conclude the email portion of the mailbag, which is fine because I've got my predictions coming for the Saturday night main event. So let's get to those voicemails right now.
This is DJ Kuzmo back at it again on your Mailbag show. Record you live on a Wednesday morning, and you know what time it is. It's time to
say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. and Joe Hendry.
That's right, folks. Joe Hendry is his name as I take it to my 20th episode of the Joe Hendry Report. As always, recorded to you live from an undisclosed location. We got a jam-packed episode today on episode 28 of the Joe Hendry Report, as all roads were leading towards TNA Genesis from this past Sunday, live from Dallas, Texas. But before we get there, let's talk about the breaking news that took place on the Thursday leading up towards TNA Genesis, and that is WWE and TNA have reached an agreement to have a multi-year partnership. Now, this is going to be going on for I don't know how many years, but this is going to be more specifically focusing on the NXT stars and TNA stars, as they will be making appearances vice versa on different shows, and of course the PLEs and TNA's pay-per-view events. I wish it was also connected with the main roster, like we could see TNA stars on SmackDown and on Raw, but this partnership between WWE and TNA is just focusing on NXT and their developmental system, and of course TNA, as we could see a possibility that Jordynne Grace, who had just wrestled her final match at TNA Genesis against Tessa Blanchard, Jordynne Grace should be appearing on NXT very soon via the Royal Rumble. And also there's some other stars that could be making their ways to NXT from TNA. But this is a great partnership. I can't remember a time in the history of WWE that two different wrestling promotions are making a partnership, are making an agreement. So kudos to TNA, kudos to WWE for making this partnership now become a multi-year partnership for I don't know how many years, maybe the next 10 years, the next 50, the next 20. This should be some incredible matchups, incredible pay-per-views and PLEs for both TNA and WWE. Now let's take it to what took place this past Thursday from TNA's pre-tape episode, as we're getting ready for TNA Genesis, as none other than Joe Hendry was in a final face-off against Nick Nemeth as they got ready for their main event matchup for the TNA World title. And Joe Hendry says, I must win. I have to win the TNA World Championship so that a new era could begin in TNA. And of course, Nick Nemeth had some doubts about if he was ready, if Joe Hendry was ready to become a champion, to take on the responsibilities of becoming a champion, to become the face of TNA Pro Wrestling. So now we take it to this past Sunday. Oh, the most important, biggest pay-per-view for TNA to start off 2025, TNA Genesis. I did purchase the pay-per-view. It was just $39.99 on Thriller TV, and I gotta say this was the best investment that I've made so far this year, as I got to witness a lot of incredible matches, especially that Tessa Blanchard versus Jordynne Grace match. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, they had some incredible tag team match on the show, but most importantly, let's talk about the main event, and that was Joe Hendry versus Nick Nemeth for the World Championship, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, as it went 19 minutes and 8 seconds. I have to say also that I fell asleep as usual. I don't know why. My body just feels tired. I fell asleep and I had to rewatch the main event at least 3 times. But on the 3rd time, I got to watch the beginning and end of this incredible main event, in which they had the usual shenanigans, as none other than Frankie Kazarian, who had the Call Your Gauntlet trophy, as he was trying to cash in his opportunity on Nick Nemeth, as both Nick Nemeth and Joe Hendry were lying on the mat. But then here comes John Bradshaw Layfield, and he gave a clothesline to Frankie Kazarian in stopping him from trying to pin Nick Nemeth so that he could become the champion. So that didn't happen. We also saw Ryan Nemeth. Prior to the main event match, it was mentioned by the commissioner, Santino Marella, that Ryan Nemeth was going to be banned at ringside from this main event match. But then he comes in with a ticket. Oh, I bought a ticket, a last-minute ticket to be in the TNA Genesis crowd to watch the match. But then all of a sudden, John Bradshaw Layfield gives another clothesline, this time to Ryan Nemeth. So Ryan Nemeth gets clothesline. Frankie Kazarian gets clothesline, as both Joe Hendry and Nick Nemeth were lying on the mat. It was a very close near fall. Nick Nemeth kicked out of the standing ovation chokeslam, and Joe Hendry kicked out of Nick Nemeth's finisher, a first for both. But then we get to the closing seconds of this match, and I gotta say, Joe Hendry is now your new TNA World Champion. And here are the closing seconds. Hopefully this doesn't get copyright ridden, and it sounds something like this.
Joe's calling for it. Is this it? They're standing. Oh, cover. Do you believe? I have always believed.
Here is your winner and new TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry.
And that's right, folks. You just heard the call. Joe Hendry is your new TNA World Champion after he hit the standing ovation chokeslam for the second time on Nick Nemeth to get the pin and win as the crowd is chanting, "We believe, we believe, we believe." And of course, we did get to see Joe Hendry's parents in the crowd, his mom and dad, as they were at ringside, as they were congratulating their son for becoming a TNA World Champion. Now, this is not the end of my journey of following Joe Hendry. I've started basically in 2022 when he was just a mid-carder trying to make his way in TNA for the second time. And of course, he did win the Digital Media Championship in, I guess you could say, 2022 into 2023. But now this is the big time, as he is the face of the company, the face of TNA, of becoming a TNA World Champion in 19 minutes and 8 seconds, as now we get to see Joe Hendry taking on that responsibility to become a heavyweight champion, to become the face of TNA. After the match, he did do an exclusive video, an exclusive post-match interview, as he's talking about that now he wants to be a cliche fighting champion, as he wants to take on all comers, anybody from NXT that wants to challenge him for the TNA World Championship, or anybody on the TNA roster that wants to step up to Joe Hendry. He says, "Come on, let's go." And even he also mentions, on a podcast interview with Busted Open Radio, he wants to call out John Cena. He mentions that he wants to have this dream match opportunity to face John Cena this year, whether it's at WrestleMania, whether it's in one of his final matches leading up into the end of 2025, whatever the case may be. Joe Hendry called out John Cena specifically and say, hey, why not Joe Hendry versus John Cena for the TNA World Championship? Could it be a possibility that we're going to have this? Who knows? But anyway, I am so happy that Joe Hendry is finally a TNA World Champion. We have seen him try to make his way to try to win the NXT Championship last year, 2024, and that didn't work out. The multiple attempts of him trying to win the TNA World Championship last year in 2024, it wasn't his time then, but it is his time now, as he is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Now, this coming Thursday, this should be some exciting news, as he's going to kick off a live episode of TNA Pro Wrestling. Let's see what Joe Hendry has in store. He also has, coming up on February 2nd and February 3rd, he is going to be on the Jericho Cruise. Now, there's a possibility that he might appear at the Royal Rumble, because the Royal Rumble is February 1st, and then he goes on the Jericho Cruise on February 2nd and February 3rd. He's doing a live concert. But with that being said, and so much things going around for Joe Hendry and TNA and WWE and everything in general in the world of professional wrestling, always remember, folks, to believe. Say his name. Always remember the words that Joe Hendry says anytime, any place, at any show. And most importantly, as he is now a TNA World Champion, most importantly, do this.
Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is so prestigious.
Once again, this is your guy, DJ Kuzmo. Have a blessed week. Be kind to one another. Stay easy, my friends. Believe, and peace.
All right, DJ, well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Certainly a longer voicemail. Yes, I said it was, guys. Okay, so some of you who say, "Oh, hey, DJ's been a listener for a long time." I mean, he's one of the OG listeners of this show, so giving him a little extra time on the show is certainly fine with me. But it also is warranted because big moment here, as we noted, and I noted early in the show, to bury the lead. Joe Hendry is your new TNA World Champion. And as you alluded to, this does mean that with the working relationship in WWE and TNA, hey, there's almost, I don't want to say guarantee, there's a very high likelihood that Joe Hendry appears in the Rumble. Not going to win. He's not going to win. It's not the idea. The idea is to introduce him to the WWE fans. With a lot of eyeballs on the product, and with what they did with the TNA World Champion last year with the women, they are going to, I think, bring in Joe Hendry. And to hear the crowd, I'm very interested to hear what the crowd does. Very interested. So thank you, DJ, for all of your analysis of Genesis, TNA Genesis, and the Joe Hendry report, because while some of you may say, oh, it's TNA, he's going to be coming to WWE, guys. So this is a preemptive WWE strike here. All right. Thank you, my friend, and let's get to the next one. Actually, let's pause on that. I just realized we have an email. It's from Tom. I don't know how I missed this. So here we go. This is a quick one. So I guess change it up here. Little email, and then we'll get to another voicemail. This is from snowy, Florida. And Tom says, my daughter's outside doing snow angels in the yard as I write this. Crazy. I'm still holding out hope of a Rock Roman WrestleMania 41. If they're going to do it, though, now is the time. I feel waiting any longer might take the air out of the tires for the match. The Rock continues to get older. Roman appears to have gone back to his part-time schedule, and I don't know how much longer he has left in WWE, even as a part-timer. So I'm hoping this year is it, and we get the final boss back, and not this babyface version of The Rock who kisses Cody and everyone you know what. Yeah, certainly, Tom. And first of all, you guys in Florida getting snow is pretty wild. New Orleans got like 8, 9, 10 inches or something. You guys in New Orleans have had a bigger single snowstorm than here in upstate New York. I mean, it's just insane. Not total, but in one single storm, our biggest storm is like 3 inches, 4 inches. It's pathetic. This winter, we've been getting like, a dusting here, an inch there, 2 inches here, 1 inch. It's just, there's just, cold, and that's kind of it. So the fact you guys got it in Florida, I'm telling you, you may not see that again in your lifetime. That's how rare that is down there. Just crazy, I'm sure. I mean, it melted quickly, but did everyone freak out? I'm very curious. Like, how did everyone down in the Deep South, if we have listeners down there, clearly we do in Florida, but anyone in like the New Orleans area, Louisiana, anybody that got snow that never ever gets it, did everyone freak out? I mean, it's a once in a lifetime event for many people, but did, no one who knew how to drove, and there was a million accidents and no snow plows, and was it really like that? I'm curious. All right, well, thank you, Tom, and enjoy the snow. And yes, we need Rock and Roman WrestleMania 41. We do. But we've been saying, oh, this is the year to do it. This is the year to do it. We have been saying that for a long time because, we got to do it. The Rock's not getting any younger. We've been saying that for like 8, 9, 10 years now. And it's heated up, certainly the last few. They were going to do it last year, and the fans forced it otherwise to change. And this year seemingly is the last time they can do it, but it's not really. It always feels that way because they're not young guys anymore, especially The Rock. And barring injury or The Rock's crazy movie schedule or whatever else they want to do for WrestleMania 42, I mean, you don't know it's the unknowns. Strike while it's hot. And I don't know. I don't know if they'll do it. I think we're going to get a lot of questions answered at the Rumble. And if The Rock throws Roman Reigns out of the Rumble, I mean, there you go. Bing, bang, boom. There's your match. WrestleMania 41. I think if push comes to shove, and you guys, want a dead answer, I think they probably do it this year because things are set up. Roman's a babyface. Rock could very quickly go back to the final boss. And really, it doesn't matter if he's babyface or if he's a heel. I don't even care because as long as we just get the match, that's what I care about the most. But The Rock doesn't have a championship. I don't count that thing he's carrying around his back, or his shoulder from Muhammad Ali's wife. I don't care about that. That's not real in WWE world. Roman's not a champion, right? Perfect time. Let's do it. Anyway. So let's get back to those voicemails. See who's next.
Alex the French guy here, your current European champion. They did announce, WWE did announce, that we will have another PLE this time around.
All right, Alex. Yeah, I know that obviously the connection was terrible. I wanted to play it so you knew I got it. Both your voicemails came in like this. Obviously, they're not playable. You know, you had a bad connection, bad service, not sure. But they came in like that, and can't play it on an audio only podcast. So try to find a place that's maybe, I don't know if you're inside, not sure. Wherever you were, it was not a good location for cell service. So I wanted to play it for you to show you what I got. And sorry, I can decipher the message offline, but it would have been a horrible listening experience. So I only subjected everybody to it for a couple of seconds there, just so, sometimes that happens. Sometimes we get voicemails like that, and I apologize, and just send it in again, my friend, and we'll play it. Again, both of them came in like that. I saw your other one, so try again. Let's get to it. I think it's our final one, Kyle from Baltimore, and let's see what he has to say.
It's Kyle from Baltimore. So I wanted to talk about what's the plan for Rhea Ripley. She seems very directionless. I felt that way for the longest time. Rhea is super over and good for her, but ultimately it's not incredible for her to face for the championship right now. Because I'm expecting, like, when Becky comes back, she's going to probably face Lyra for the IC championship. They're teasing something between Bayley and Roxanne Perez, whether it's going to happen at TakeOver, NXT TakeOver, or WrestleMania itself. I am expecting Roxanne to be on the main roster, so I don't think for her to do on NXT anymore. So I'm expecting probably Bayley and Roxanne at WrestleMania, I'm guessing. So I don't know what they're going to do with Rhea Ripley and who she defends the title against. There's no obvious opponent for Rhea Ripley for the championship. And we had the same issue when she was champion the last time. And so, I mean, is it to the point where, people just don't care? He's a fan of Rhea Ripley and she is super over right now, but there is no credible opponent for her to be in a credible feud with. Liv was pretty much it. And so, I mean, I don't know who, and I don't think it will be Liv, but so I don't know who that person will be. Is it going to be Bianca? I'm not sure, because Bianca's going to have her issues with Naomi at some point, I'm assuming, for WrestleMania. And Jade, that's the story you have to flesh out there. So, I mean, is there any credible, interesting people for Rhea to face this year for the championship? Because I don't see that happening. Now again, I know that Bayley eyed the championship a while ago, so is that what they'll do? It'll be Bayley and Rhea? I don't know. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that, but that's it. Thanks for a call. Bye.
Yeah. So Kyle, I funnily enough, I addressed this earlier in the show, not knowing what your voicemail content was. Bianca Belair. And to me, it doesn't matter what brand she's on. WWE doesn't care about that. They've shown us that through every single brand split and draft that they've done. They don't care about their own damn rules. So I don't care if she's on the same brand or not. They're not going to care. Fans aren't going to care. I do, because I'm a stickler for that stuff. But it'll happen. Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley is certainly one that needs to happen. It's a gold mine right there. Now, who's going to play the babyface and heel? I mean, maybe both are babyface. It's kind of like a Rock versus Austin WrestleMania 17 deal. Certainly not the same magnitude, but same dynamic where they both go in babyface and maybe one at the end turns heel. It's very possible. That's happened before, as we've seen. So outside of that, I mean, I don't know, Charlotte. But Charlotte is coming to SmackDown. Again, I say this as if they're adhering to their own brand rules. They're not. But Charlotte could be coming back. Maybe Charlotte faces Jade, or Jade ends up facing Naomi. Naomi's revealed as the attacker, or it could be Bianca and Jade, or they don't do that. And there's a lot of ways that could go. But with Jade, Bianca, Charlotte returning, and Rhea open, I think Rhea and Bianca are the main event. and it should be. That's a hell of a main event. My God, their match is going to be incredible. Again, we're several steps from that happening, but I just don't see how it's a bad match and bad program. And for the love of God, it gets Bianca out of a tag team. And we also get Charlotte and Jade, I guess. Maybe Charlotte's revealed as the attacker. I mean, maybe. Everyone thinks it's Naomi or Bianca, but to throw a twist in there and make it Charlotte. I don't want Charlotte coming back as a babyface. I really don't. She's said she's not comfortable with it. She never looks comfortable being in that role. Charlotte is much better a natural heel, much more a natural heel. So, yeah, a lot of options. The women's division is quite open. And, yeah, Bayley and Roxanne Perez, they are definitely heading to, I mean, they're not just teasing that. They are doing that right now. I mean, they've attacked each other several times now. So it's not just a tease. Like, it's happening. It's just a matter of when. They could do it at Rumble. I doubt it because the Rumble needs women, and the women aren't going to have any, like, tons of singles matches. They're just going to be a lot of, hey, we need all hands on deck. Last year was the first time, if you remember, in the Rumble where they didn't bring a lot of the stars of yesteryear to fill the Rumble, where, you know, to make it look like there was a mirage of 30 women that they could credibly put out there. There were a couple, but prior to that, there was like Molly Holly, Tori Wilson, they're bringing out Stacy Keibler, whoever. I mean, they're bringing out everyone to make it look like there was actually 30 credible women that they could lean on, and it was just an embarrassment. Not that the matches themselves were, but just the fact that they needed to do that very obviously to fill that 30 person requirement. Yeah, but it got better last year, and I expect it to happen this year. I don't mind a few celebrity kind of fun entrants or stars of yesteryear, but that's should be few and far between. So, but they haven't really paid attention to the Women's Rumble either. I brought that up many times too. Somebody may want to kind of tap Triple H on the shoulder and be like, hey, Paul, listen, Rumble's next weekend, and are we still doing the women's thing? Are we still doing the Women's Rumble? Are we not? Yeah, somebody may want to do that. Bring it up in one of those production meetings on Zoom or wherever he holds them in person, and just are we doing anything? Because it's been so little, not none, but close to none of a build, nothing of a build for the Women's Rumble. So anyway, thank you, Kyle. Good to hear from you. I feel like it's been a while. All right. So let's get to Saturday night's main event. Saturday night's main event for WWE. And I'm going to start with the Intercontinental Championship here. Braun Breaker and Sheamus. Like many of these title matches, if not all of them, this one is extremely predictable and one that doesn't need to have a shock value to it for shock value's sake. It is Braun Breaker winning. He should. He needs to. No need. He's already lost it to Jay for a month and got it back, if you remember. And as they use the Intercontinental title to bring Jay back to the OG bloodline, which now they're just, I guess, quietly dismantled again. But this match, outside of the finish being predictable in terms of who's going to keep the belt or win the belt, is the quality of the match. That's what we're looking for here. Any surprises, any big things happening. And I don't think so here. It's going to be fun to see Sheamus. Sheamus is on the back end of his career, and he's kind of the invisible, or he's kind of like wallpaper here, if people still use wallpaper. I don't know. Maybe there's a better analogy. But he's there, but you don't really notice him anymore. Like, he's a star, but I don't think we're really appreciating him still being there, because he's at the point where he's never going to be the focus of the company anymore, but he still puts on good matches. Physical guy, seems like a genuinely nice guy from what I've seen. And I think we just need to appreciate every time he's in a match now. Not that I think he's going to retire tomorrow, but definitely got more days behind him than in front of him in the ring. So I expect a physical match, one that is a good matchup for Braun, because he can't manhandle his opponents like a lot of his others, where Sheamus is a guy that is significantly larger, similar in stature to Braun. So it's going to be a fun match. Physical as hell. The women's match, Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. Yeah, there's just no chance There's no chance that Rhea Ripley, I think, wins here. Or I'm sorry, Nia Jax wins. Rhea is 100% the winner here. There's not even a slight chance that Nia wins. And for so many reasons. Number one, Rhea's not dropping the belt because she just won it. All right. And this, to me, is a match that is about something else. Now, as I'm reading the description. Oh, she is defending. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a title. It is a title match. Okay, I wanted to make 100% sure it wasn't a non-title. But first of all, is Nia even on Raw? Do I need to bring that up anymore? But this match is about something else, and it could be to get Nia to her next opponent or Rhea to her next one. This one is not a long-standing feud, I don't believe. If it continues on Monday Night Raw, I'll be surprised because we have the Women's Rumble now that they should be 100% focused on starting on Monday. And this is not about championships. This is about, I think, helping Nia have another, put another notch on her belt. Nia needs to have a really good performance here more than Rhea does. We know what Rhea is. She's a proven commodity. She's the champion. She's going to win this because, I shouldn't say that. She may not win the match, but she'll retain the title. How about that? This is what I'm going to go with. I'm being sneaky here. Rhea wins by disqualification. Nia is going to do something to get herself disqualified. Because if Rhea ends up winning and they want to keep Nia Jax looking strong, that's how you protect her. That's what I'm going to go with. Just because I'm trying to be clever. The more likely scenario is that Rhea just outright beats Nia if they're trying to, get Rhea ready for maybe Bianca. So either way, Rhea retains. All right, Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu. Boy, oh boy. I don't expect this one to be pretty. This is not going to be a 5-star classic. This match is going to be physical. It's going to be fun. I think you're going to hear a lot of cheers for Jacob Fatu because people recognize what he could be. They see a star in the making, and when they see that, they grab onto it. I think that Jacob Fatu is going to get at least half the support from the crowd here. Braun Strowman's just your generic babyface in a way that's just, he's a monster, and he likes to roar, and he does big moves, and he's larger than life. So kind of your generic big babyface, and he'll be a nice opponent for Jacob Fatu because it'll be a nice test to see how Fatu deals with a guy that's bigger than him for once and stronger than him. So Fatu gets the win in a fun, probably 8-minute match, 10-minute match, because this is not built to last long. Even though there's only 4 matches on the card, I mean, I could see this going fine. If it's on a PLE-ish, it might go no more than 12 minutes. Let me put it that way. I can't see it because Strowman's not built for that. All right, let's continue. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens are set for a Royal Rumble contract signing with Shawn Michaels, as I said. Something has to happen here. Could be a Randy Orton return right away to RKO KO. Oh, that's fun. RKO KO. Could be. But for me, this is something more than a couple of promos. There's something here. Maybe Kevin Owens gets in the face of Shawn Michaels and he ends up laying out KO with some sweet chin music. That'd be fun. As KO runs his mouth to Shawn and gets his head kicked off. That'd be fun. I mean, Kevin Owens is going to be entertaining as hell in this segment, but this is meant for something more than just, I'm running a contract signing and I'm leaving. It could end up with somebody through a table, as is tradition, but perhaps that's the payoff. All right. So, main event. Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is going to be fun. A lot of back and forth. Could easily be match of the night in terms of just star quality, if you care about that. I certainly expect there's be some moments where Jey Uso looks like he could win. I mean, there has to be. Gunther ultimately will win this. Here's what I want them to start doing with Gunther. I want him to stop backing down from things. There should be no fear in his character. The fear he showed with Damian Priest, I think, was damaging. Gunther should look dominant. Not a squash. No. Jey Uso should, as they always do, take him to his limit. In this case, they should. Jey Uso is a future world champion. Timing's just not right for him right now. He has no chance of winning here. If he wins, I will be floored. Gunther needs to walk into WrestleMania 41 as champion. Will he lose it there? Very possible, depending on the opponent. But this has to be about Gunther's dominating win leading into Rumble. Now, if Goldberg wants to show up, fine. If he wants to spear Gunther, fine. I don't need a match, as I've said. Please, for the love of God, no Bill Goldberg match. It still could happen. It's a waste of a match for everyone involved. There's no one who's dying for this match. But it still could happen. There could be a spear and no match. I'm fine with that too. You want to have Goldberg spear Gunther? Fine. For what he, for mouthing off to Goldberg at the last, was it Bad Blood? Fine. Cool. Yeah, whatever. You want to have that happen? Fine. But no match. I don't need a match resulting from this. So that could happen after the match. That's very possible. So this is going to be a good match though. Jey Uso and Gunther. A lot of chops. 14 plus super kicks. I mean, the over-under on the super kicks is probably about 10. It's just wildly overused. And so, I mean, the super kick is like a punch at this point. It's been relegated to like a clothesline in terms of frequency and effect on their opponent. Damage inflicted. It's equivalent to a clothesline or a headlock. So that's probably what's on the table here. I don't expect any wild interference outside of maybe Goldberg, but if that happens, it'll be after the match. And a decisive win for Gunther. Not a trip and fall on a banana peel kind of fell into a victory match. I want Gunther to start racking up dominating wins, or at least decisive wins. Not this, just scrape by his teeth and get through or luck of the draw kind of thing. Gunther needs a decisive victory. Hard fought, but decisive. So that's what I think is going to happen here. Overall, I'm excited about Saturday Night Main Event just from for fun wrestling, just wrestling matches. That's what it is. And I think if that's the identity of this PLE-ish thing, then so be it. If that's what they're after is just a nice wrestling show, then hell, I'll take wrestling on my wrestling show any day of the week. So thank you everybody for joining me here on the WWE podcast. You guys can follow me on X at wrestling_audio or search the WWE podcast. Join us on Patreon. Go ad free. Talk with all the other patrons in a Discord chat that's private, only to members. Head on over to patreon.com/WWE podcast to do that. There's a 1 week free trial there, a 1 week free trial on Apple and Spotify. All of those are accessible for my ad-free feed. So thank you everybody for listening, and I'll be hopefully on Twitter during Saturday Night Main Event. I'll try to pop in and out. Saturday night's kind of tough, but I'll try. And hopefully I'll maybe see you guys in the Discord chat as well. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.